siblings in the business think. I wonder what other siblings in the business that are following a big bro, a big bro, a big sis, an older sibling, following loosely, because nobody's really following. Everybody's their own person. But I wonder what they think about their position,
as opposed to
in the game. You know,
that
would be a very interesting conversation to have.
Because
I think, y'all ready for this one? Please send all your comments in, because I'm so serious. I think there's only, when it comes to siblings following other siblings, I think there's only one sibling out of all of the siblings in the business or in any type of form of entertainment that are following an older sibling. There's only one that I can be compared to. Only one.
What up? Compared to
there's only one that I look at and say I can see us being in a parallel situation. Everybody else, plain and simple, I'm better than.
Okay.
In whatever forum they're doing, in whatever aspect that they're doing entertainment, it's only one sibling that I look at and say, yeah, I can see the parallel between me and that sibling.
Damon Wayans?
No, Damon's is like big. Damon's big, bro. So he's his own guy.
Big homie.
Yeah, he's not really. I don't look at Damon like he's following Keenan. Keenan's like behind the scenes.
Okay,
Damon's, they to me they seem independent of each other.
Charlie Murphy. I don't even know what y'all talking about.
No, Charlie Murphy's big bro. Charlie Murphy's big bro.
Right.
We were talking about
before you
we were talking about the episode that we had that Guy Tori was on, because I was out of town that weekend.
Yeah.
And Mark was saying we got to get Guy back on. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to have that discussion with him. And Fox brought up an interesting point. Like, yeah, it would be interesting to hear you guys' perspective on being a younger sibling following a older sibling.
Yeah.
And I said, I think that there's only one sibling that I could be compared to, or that I see a parallel with, out of all of the siblings in the entertainment world. Whatever they do, there's only one that I look at and say, I see the parallels. Absolutely not.
Why, absolutely.
No. Just Guy? No.
If not him, nothing is jumping in my brain. Nobody's jumping in my brain.
The only sibling
I'm like,
that you can say I see a parallel is Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Everybody else can't fuck with me.
Okay, all right.
Everybody else cannot fuck with me.
You took it out of the realm of comedy.
I said entertainment.
You said entertainment? Yeah, that's right.
Every other sibling is like, do you really want to compare that person to Tone? Like, it's not a fair comparison.
That's it.
It's Janet Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's gonna be crazy to them. I know that's gonna be, this nigga really bugging.
No, I get it.
Listen.
So you saying what Mike is to Janet is what you are to Chris.
What up, boy?
What up?
Whoa. We was just talking bad about you.
Thank you, man.
I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying what Chris is to comedy, Mike is to music.
Okay. Right.
All right.
I'm saying that Janet is her own entity behind Mike. You don't think Michael's Jackson's sister.
Nah.
Right?
No.
You think Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Right.
The people that know comedy don't say Chris Rock's brother.
Mm-hmm.
They say Tony Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He's his own person. The people that the people that just want to be on social media talking shit, they'll say, "Oh, you just Chris Rock brother." Yeah. But the people that know, even those dummies know, nigga, you know this ain't no coattail shit. You know that shit, nigga. You just saying that shit because you on social media, you trying to get a reaction from me and some traction. But nigga, you know, I've been famous your whole life.
Is it your whole life?
I've been famous your whole life.
I can see Janet Jackson getting that type of hate if she came up during social media. You just Michael Jackson's.
Yeah, I'm not just about the hate of it. I'm just about her standing completely on her own.
Well, I mean,
in the same genre.
I mean, but in the beginning, everybody, with that family, is different because the whole family were entertainers. Right. The whole family had a show. It was the Jackson family. I mean, so Janet was entertaining since she was 3.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different because Janet just didn't come out of.
Yeah, I didn't say it was the exact same thing. I'm just saying the only comparison for me, if you're going to compare me to a sibling, any other sibling, I'm like this. No.
Janet Jackson. That's it.
So not Marlon?
No, it's enough.
No, not Tito.
Not Sean, not Tito, not Randy.
Not Jackie. Not
she stands alone, stands apart. Yeah.
Guy.
No.
I was saying Marlon Jackson when I said Marlon. I was being
not Marlon Jackson. No, not Marlon Jackson.
Randy Jackson. Nah.
Jermaine. No.
Jermaine
was big bro. Jermaine was big bro.
Jermaine was big bro.
So little bro. All right. I mean.
The Goodings. No.
The Goodings.
No Goodings.
Yeah.
No Omar.
They brothers?
No Omar.
Yeah. Omar and Cuba.
Nope.
I think there's another one too. But
about the Sheen brothers, Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Nope.
And Emilio Estevez.
The Tates. No.
Oh yeah, there's like 4 of them, 3 of them.
No.
Nah.
And it's just me talking. I don't care what.
But I get why you're saying it. Though.
I know that what this platform does to people and how it fucking it puts a battery in their back. So I'm gonna give y'all shit to talk about. I'm saying there's no sibling that can compare.
So
other than Janet Jackson.
So Janet Jackson.
A parallel with.
A parallel. Other than Janet. Now I ain't seen you doing no choreography, and you said Janet Jackson. You ain't got
choreograph these motherfucking jokes. I choreograph these jokes.
I see you do Janet Jackson's move.
Okay.
But I understand why you would say that, just in terms of you stand alone in the business.
You look at Janet and you don't say
that's Michael Jackson's sister. You don't say
you look at Janet and you don't say, oh, she's just following the family. Like you don't say that. Now I'm sure,
which is irrelevant.
If you want to say something negative about her, if you one of those dummies, you'll draw. Oh, she's just. Her family put her on or whatever because you have nothing else.
Yeah, nobody even really says that about Janet.
Right, but I'm saying that's when you have nothing else. People that say this shit about me, yo, you just Chris Rock because you got nothing else. Like I said, I've been famous your whole life on my own merit. You just have nothing else to say, so you go, oh, you just Chris Rock brother. Like that's supposed to be a diss. Nigga, whose brother would you rather be? My brother? Whose brother would you rather have? Would you rather have my brother as your brother or your brother as your brother? And I don't even know your brother, but I'm sure my brother's doing better than your brother.
Hilarious.
So, like, it's not a diss to me to say you just Chris Rock brother.
Make sure you put this comment, this part on your page. Because you ain't last week, you ain't put the one I wanted you to put on your page. I was ready for everybody to come at me. Yeah.
What comment?
Where I was saying I'm not going to support Carmelo just because he's black. I had
black and right.
Yeah, he got to be black and right.
Yeah. Did you get feedback from that?
Not really, because it ain't get that many views. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to do something. I was ready.
The other one still getting heat. I'm just saying that's going to be hot for a long time.
I was just ready to take some of the smoke.
You should have shouted about it. You should have shouted about it.
But look, it ain't really heat. It's just ignorance.
It really is.
Ignorance.
It really is.
Right? I call people stupid a lot on here, but it's not stupidity, it's ignorance. Ignorance is just devoid of any facts and any type of real type of comprehension of what's going on or what's being said. That's ignorance. To form an opinion with having little to no facts is ignorance. So that's all that is.
Yeah.
It's like they just don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Yeah. Come on, walk on in here.
I tried to match the decor.
All right.
You look good. Good.
I like what y'all do.
Y'all
just 3 brothers sitting here chilling, all intellectual.
Trying.
Sometimes you get a little
with some water, ice.
I see that too.
Yeah.
Right there.
That's rum punch.
Rum punch. Captain Kirk is our sponsor.
Captain Kirk should make a rum punch. Shout out to our sponsor.
Now I know you vegan, but I don't know if
they gave me this on the set. I ain't smoked in for years. I was like, it's real weed.
What is this we have here?
It looked like that dust that
it's a pre-roll.
Yeah.
Right, I'll take it off.
Pixie stick.
We sat on the
Kirk, shout out.
The porch. I haven't been on that porch in 30 years. And Byron Scott, being a LA legend, hosted it, and he was dressed as Smokey.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
And we went. I mean, I I think
Byron
I
Scott,
cried.
the basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought you was like Byron Allen. I'm like,
Yeah.
Byron Scott dressed up like Smokey.
That's what I was thinking. Byron Allen
No,
at
he said
first.
Byron
Yeah.
Scott, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He hosted it, he loves everything LA.
Mhm.
That's a LA cult classic.
Right.
That's what's up.
No, that's a cult classic. That's
Well,
not
let's get
That's
into
not an LA cult classic. That's a cult classic. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
That's a cult classic, not LA.
But before we even get into the cult classic, we got to
Go, do you think?
introduce
Do the intro.
They gave me a hat. Should I keep it on?
Sure.
whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah,
Okay, because it is a Friday 30th. So
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
we
why I'm
gonna get
here.
into that.
yeah.
That's
But-
why I'm doing the rounds.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen,
30 went fast.
you guys already know her. I mean, actress, producer, model,
Author.
author,
Chef.
chef, vegan
It's
chef.
crazy.
What else? What do you call it? A numerologist? A
Numerology.
numerologist.
Oh yeah, he just told me that today. I got.
I got something trippy for y'all. I got something.
Yeah,
trippy about.
I can't wait to get into that. But known for one of her most iconic characters on the movie Friday. She played the role of
A sentence that still
Resonates.
resonates to this day,
Yes.
30 years
Crazy.
later.
yeah.
Mhm.
Bye,
Bye,
Felicia.
Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Crazy.
But now it's
Ladies and
high,
gentlemen,
Felicia.
the one and only, the most talented Miss Angela.
Angela Means in the building.
Hey.
Wait, we can start right there.
Mhm.
Just the phrase "Bye Felicia," simple
Mhm.
and has lasted for 30 years.
That's-
What was it about the line?
I think it was, just the whole project. The whole project was just so real. It happened at a time. It was lightning in a bottle.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it happened during the mid-90s
Mhm.
in LA.
Mhm.
In the midst of every time you turn on TV, whatever there was about South Central, it was negative.
Mhm.
It was violence. It was
Mhm.
the Crips and the Bloods. So when they did this film, they made it a real place.
Mhm.
They made it a place where Black families were real.
Mhm.
They were doing real things. They were loving each other. They had inside jokes. And then every comic in there was just so hot. It was just
Mm.
lightning in a bottle. It just hit. It just hit.
Mhm.
So everything coming up out of there. But the Bye Felicia thing, I think it came back around with the drag queens, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
They're the ones that made it hot again. And Felicia's just somebody that I played her straight. I played her real.
Mhm.
F. Gray was adamant she's not a crackhead.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, now I got to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So you either a crackhead or you a hood rat. So she's a hood rat. So what makes this? When you look at her, you can tell she's a pretty girl. If you clean her up,
Yeah.
she's a pretty girl. So what happened?
It's a lot of those girls in the hood.
Mhm.
A lot of those girls in the hood, you like, man, if she just had
A shower.
I sound like a pimp. If she just had a little guidance.
Yeah, right.
That's the whole thing. She
Mhm.
was misguided.
Mhm.
She had no social cues.
Mhm.
She didn't know she just had these blinders on, just walking around. She was neglected.
Mhm.
All kind of things happen to Felicia.
Mhm.
We see them all the time. What is their backstory? So I made her backstory really, really deep so I could play her straight. And if I hadn't played her straight, I don't think it would have hit the way that it hit.
Mhm.
Everyone couldn't bounce off of her because that's what you were doing. There was it was a handful of Regina King played straight, Anna Marie Horsford, Terry Vaughn, myself, just played it straight. I mean,
Nia.
that's
Nia.
what there was a space right there that was
Yeah,
empty.
yeah.
Nia played it straight. I don't think that it would have hit the way that it did if somebody got to be the straight man.
Right.
So why not this interesting character? Because if we was bouncing back and forth and I was like all in his face saying crazy stuff,
Mhm.
then it just wouldn't have been as fluid.
Mhm.
And wouldn't have came off as authentic as it did. That scene is so authentic.
Mm.
Craig, bye Felicia.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all stingy.
Yeah.
It was just so real. And I think people, that's why reality TV is so good. People crave reality,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and we just did it so real. everybody knows
Shit,
Smokey.
reality
Damn.
TV the fakest shit in the world. What you talking
Now
about?
it is.
Now it
That's
is.
more
Back in the
script-
day,
reality TV more scripted than the daytime soap opera.
now it is. But back
That
when the
part.
first came out though, like the first real
yeah,
world,
those look like
that first
we
real world was real.
identified as real people.
Yeah.
You know what the first reality show is, though?
What?
Cops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was real.
It's still going.
So let me ask you, when that came about Friday, the script, the audition, how did that go? Where was it your agent say, "Hey, we have an audition for this film," or was it like somebody asked you to do it because from you being on Def Jam and or how did that go about?
Wait, can I jump a little bit before that? Before that, because I wasn't in LA at the time. My years to
that's
come to
right.
LA were much later. What was the scene in Black Hollywood at the time when that script started circulating? Was everybody like, I got to get in on this?
No.
Did it have the heat that it delivered later on?
No.
Okay.
No.
Mhm.
Everyone was
Good
not
question.
trying to get in on it.
Wow.
It was, even Chris Tucker will say, that's why he went Buck Rogers. He's like, who gonna see a Ice Cube movie? Who the fuck gonna see Ice Cube movie? Ice Cube movie. And they were thinking that it wasn't gonna hit. I knew it was gonna hit. My insight was, it was basically Def Jam the movie. You got all these hot,
Nice.
Wow.
hot comics. We was the hottest thing.
Yeah.
We were selling out arenas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Def Jam tour was selling out arenas. We were, after show, it'd be a lineup. It was just, we was hot. So it was in the middle of the Black comedy explosion.
Mm.
That's what happened.
Mhm.
And when I knew if Chris delivered what they wanted, we was out of here. I've never been anywhere where someone is so hot, so funny that everyone had to hold their laughs during
The take.
every single take was just funnier and fun. That's how hot he was. That's how on he was.
Yeah.
That's how committed he was. His first audition, he didn't deliver. So he called me from his first audition. We all had our jobs, and we was a little clique. Faison, AJ, me. We was always doing something. Chris, and we all had our jobs. AJ had his. AJ booked. Faison booked. I booked, and Chris didn't book. He called me, came out of the audition. He was like, "Ange, I need your acting coach." I'm like, "No, they don't. No, I'm not giving you it. They don't want you all coached up. That's the problem. You get out your head. Like, let her rip." I was like, "Get over here." He came over, and then I called Faison. I was like, "Chris didn't get his job. Get over here. We got to coach this nigga up." And just rip it. What would you say next? Say it. Don't you ever. And when he left my apartment, he was smoking. He went in there and slammed. And, someone had to just give him license to just
Be
just
himself.
turn it
So he
on.
didn't
They
book.
would-
Did he get a call back?
They told him go away
Come back.
and then come back.
Because
Wow.
I'm assuming because they really wanted him for the role.
No one else could have played. They were thinking Tommy Davidson. But I think some
No.
producers or Cube or somebody saw Chris on stage, and he had done House Party 3.
House Party 3, yeah.
Mm.
That, and he ripped it. So when he went in, I don't know what he was doing, but he
Some
definitely
people don't
called me.
audition well or
True.
audition well
True.
for that first time. It's just like
True.
I think that helps a lot of actors, in my opinion.
If you get notes.
If you stink it up the first time, but they like, look, come back.
Yeah.
Don't just relax.
Don't outthink it.
You don't have to stick necessarily to the words. Just make this character yours. Come back tomorrow. I think if they did that, I know they can't do that for everybody, but if they did that for somebody that they really kind of had an eye on, I think that would help a lot of actors.
Yeah, it's taking
it's
a
funny.
chance. It's taking a chance on. Look, we really want this to work with you. That's rare.
And
What's
Cube
funny?
saw it.
My first couple of auditions, like I'd say like my first 5. I might have booked 3 of my first 5 auditions ever out the gate. 3 out of 5. Because I just took the sides and was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do with it. I didn't have any acting training.
Right.
And I was like, this is just how I feel about it, 3 out of
Yeah.
5. Then I came to LA and management agents and all like, you gotta get this acting teacher and this and that. And I was like, I don't know if I should, like, I was doing good.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just something to think about. Like sometimes organically what you bring
Absolutely.
to a character is what's best.
Reggie McFadden said that too. He was like, because Reggie and I, we were in an actors workshop together, and he said, "This guy ruined me."
Oh wow. Yeah.
And you just start overthinking it. But for me, it was method for me. Like I created Felicia.
Okay.
Like I didn't just let her rip. Like I did a background on her. I did her psychological background. Do she like blunts or do she like paper? What, everything. I put it in. Everything that had happened to her, I put it in and let it rip. I didn't think I was going to stick around very long. Like I didn't think I was going to have this, this 30-year career. Just, I look back 30 years and have 20 titles. I knew that wasn't going to be me. I started everything late, and I knew I wanted to. My biggest role to date is mom. My son is magnificent. He's still the all-time leading passer at the U. He has a master's degree from USC. He's on the project he just got on right now. I can't say anything. He'll announce it, but it's insane.
I remember watching them and they would say, like the commentators, who his mother is? like I'm talking about like two stuffy suited white guys. Like he would run and run for a first down and dive out of bounds, get the first down. Oh, what a dive. Yeah. You know who his mother is. I'm like, man, that shit really resonates with everybody. Like he get off the ground and teammates picking him up to get back in the huddle. His mother is
or they would cut to me in the crowd.
Yeah.
That was a trip because I had I didn't necessarily mean to stay away for so long. Like I was going to continue stand up at least. That was my introduction to everything.
Right.
And I was a good stand up. I was solid. I was decent.
That clip that's circulating right now, it's still circulating like crazy. Online now, the one with Don't Let the Light Skin Fool You on social when she did Def Jam. Yeah, it's
Busy Bone used that in one of his raps.
Yeah.
Nothing around.
Yeah.
I didn't intend to stay away so long, but this kid was just so phenomenal, and I forgot. I forgot.
He said, I forgot. I forgot I was a
star. And people would be coming to me, oh my God, and I'd be like, oh my God, what? It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you saw
Felicia. Okay. Do you want a hot dog or a hamburger? I was at the snack shack. I mean, I wore every single hat. I was Ways and Means. I was field commissioner. I was snack shack queen. I was team photographer. I did everything, and my intentions were to go back, but I remember Snoop. We were in Calabasas, and Snoop brought his team, and this little girl was like, "This is the best snack shack I ever been to." So I just kept talking to the universe. I was like, "I know you got me when this is done." And by the time he got to college, I don't spend a lot of money. Like this dress costs $9. I just even when I was working at the height when I was making money, I just banked it all. I just But by the time he got to, I was like, okay, he's going to Miami. I knew when he got the offer, he was going. Quarterback.
Right.
That was his team.
Yeah.
When I found out Felicia was trending, in the same conversation, I found out he had an offer to Miami. One of my boys called me and he was like, congratulations. And I knew, because we were waiting for the offer. He had just won the state title. He's All-American, all of this. And I was like,
know that. Did not know that.
Yeah. And I was like,
football mom.
I was like, who? Football moms, consummate football mom, trust me. And I just said, who? And he was like, Miami. I did the same dance as when I booked House Party 3. When my agent told me I had House Party 3, I was like, you are a damn lie. Yeah. She was like, no, you booked it. I literally did the Three Stooges in the living room. I was on my side. I did the same thing. Then I got up and I went back to the phone. I was like, you're not talking about Ohio, right? Yeah. He was like, no, Miami. So when we got on the phone, he said, bye, Felicia. And I was like, oh, you are ancient. And he was like, ancient is trending. And I was like, what's that? He was like, nigga, you ancient. So he made me do a Twitter, and he said, now put in the hashtag. I was like, the hashtag? He's like, the pound sign. I put in pound sign, bye Felicia, my jaw dropped. It scared me.
Yeah.
Wow.
It scared me because I was incognito. I mean, I'm a football mom. He's at the most prestigious high school, one of the most prestigious high schools in the country. And here, this done followed me. I was like, oh Lord,
Mhm.
I drive a white Land Cruiser and have a standing nail appointment. I'm going to the spa. I'm a Calabasas sports mom, and all of a sudden, no, you're not. You Bye Felicia.
Mhm.
So by the time he got to college, his dad was very, very, very extremely generous to me. And he took care of everything all the way through. I mean,
Nice.
we co-parented. One parent,
Not generous is his child too.
he paid for my everything.
That's his. You're the mother of his child.
Okay.
Your child is your greatest possession, right? The greatest thing, the best thing you've ever done in your life is have your child.
So it's like your brother. What do you want, a cookie? You took
Yeah.
care of
right. No, you're right. Because you said
You want
generous.
a
Like,
cookie?
yo, you're supposed to do that. You're right.
But I still have to take my hat off to him because he did more than what was required. He did more than I feel you, and I feel the same way.
What's
but
more
I'm
than
never
required?
not going.
What's required?
Listen,
Everybody should go above and beyond for their child.
absolutely.
There is no line of like, oh, I'll stop here. This is the requirement.
I agree with you.
Right?
I agree with you.
My son is going to be 5 May 2nd. There is no, I've done too much for him. And it's only going to get more extensive because when he's 16 and he wants a car,
Well,
or he's 18,
you and Brad's father are twins because he felt the same way.
Yeah, there's Master P
Are you-
over here. There's
are
no
you-
limit.
Are you talking about from the perspective of what he just did for you, like for Angela, or for both? Or
The situation.
Okay.
He was generous in spirit. He was generous financially.
Uh-huh.
He was just, there's some people that are just not generous people. He was
That's
so
facts.
generous.
I have 2 brothers like that.
And made it so easy for Brad to succeed. There was nothing in front of him. His eye was on the goal. We didn't use him as a pawn. A lot of people will alienate the other parent.
Weaponize.
Weaponize. We just didn't do that. And, part of being a good mother is picking a good father. And I knew that he was going to want his son to succeed and you got to love your child more than you just like your ex.
Oh yeah.
And that was our situation.
Mhm.
And he was very, very generous in every aspect.
Gotta love your child more than you
You
just
love-
like your ex.
yeah.
That's a good one. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
And wait, let me backtrack because I said I got 2 brothers like that, and everybody gonna run with it. Like, he's about Chris. I ain't talking about Chris. Because I said I got. I got 2 brothers like that. That's gonna.
Yeah.
This whole interview, that's the clip they're gonna take.
Yeah.
He put you in the movie. No, that's about Chris.
Chris
I got
is not the
brothers,
other
I got
one.
other brothers, and I meant like they won't loan you. They wouldn't loan you money when we was kids.
Yeah.
But they gonna take it and run with it. So I just clear that up.
They don't know the
I ain't
So
trying to
here's
go-
the thing.
Go down that rabbit hole again for another 2-3 weeks of that shit.
Yeah, I saw that. I commented on that. I was like, why you even go there? Why you put that man on the spot like that? Anywho, get out that family's business. Anywho, so come high school, come college, you on your own, bitch. But it was a good thing because, and I said this earlier, you don't understand the value of water until you carry your own bucket. I had to get from LA to Miami every week. Now my tour money's gone. My tour money was gone by 8th grade, right? And I can't go back to stand up because I ain't been on stage in forever. So I can't really mess up what I created by, Angela Means bombed in Kentucky.
You can always go back, but go continue.
You can. But here's what was happening when I did go back. It's like golf. You can't, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And that's how I am. I remember one of my cousins, I was 12 years old. He was like, dang, everything you do good. So what would happen is, because I was a stay-at-home mom, I cooked my son's lunch and took it to school every day. That's the mom I was. I sat there with homework. I mean, this kid is just, he's phenomenal. And I just wanted to serve that. So here's the thing. So I'm gonna go to the club one night and do some jokes. I had, something new. I was writing some jokes on the plane coming here. I was sitting on the plane just giggling. They were like,
Laughing at
writing jokes.
I get a lot of good writing done on the plane.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
I fly cross country. I'm like, oh shit, just hit that zone and just start going.
Start going. People watching. It's chill. You chill. Headphones on. So I would go to the club, do some material. I would leave, but my material would stay because they knew they weren't gonna see me for another 3-4 months. So I knew because I started doubling back on them, and I'm sitting here like, this motherfucker just saw me do that last night. And this one girl walked in and she had come off stage doing it. I don't care. I'm gonna keep writing. Comedy for me is moment to moment. You want the joke? Hey, run with it. And she did. She made it. She turned it into a 10-minute bit. But the only thing I could think of when she got off stage and she saw me, I've never seen anybody's eyes that big. I was just looking. I
hope you don't notice that I stole your
look
joke.
How big her eyes are. That's all I could think.
That's I stole your joke eyes.
She been getting high off your joke.
You wasn't supposed to be back here for 4 months.
Yeah. What's her name?
Who have
we turn off?
Donated to? Who have you donated to?
A bunch of people. Because when I left, I turned on BET one night. I'm sitting there. I mean, verbatim, the same beats, everything. Didn't even change it.
Yikes.
Must have been a good joke.
It was a great joke. I turned in some scripts one time. At Paramount came back to my agent and said, did she write this? These are some A+ jokes. Yeah, I'm an only kid. I didn't have nothing, and I'm a goof. Like I'm a goofball, and I'm smart. I'm quick, you know. And so get to college. I got to get myself from California
to carry your
to
own
Miami.
water.
Had to carry my own water across the country, and every time I showed up, I had a less piece of jewelry, but that's okay. He made it through, and compliance wouldn't let me do anything. I literally got the phone call. They never had a situation. You think about Felicia. There's never been a character in cinematic history whose name was mentioned as much in pop culture as Felicia. Who else? Beam me up, Scotty. You're killing me, Smalls. The name Felicia. There's no other character. So, I said, we've never had a situation like this. You can't do nothing. So I couldn't even capitalize on it. I couldn't even monetize it.
No shirts.
I couldn't sell no shirts, nothing.
Wow.
Dude, you can't even write a book because he was their quarterback from freshman. And they were already sitting on the fence. Something had happened. They were already in trouble. So they were like, you can't do nothing.
Oh, so they were saying you couldn't do anything to jeopardize his career.
To jeopardize his
okay, I thought you were saying
eligibility.
you couldn't do anything in entertainment because Felicia was.
They were like, the only thing you can do is what you were doing. I was like, well, I can't do that no more. I haven't done it in 25 years. So I can't go back to that. So I had been the Snack Shack coordinator for 15 years. So when the little girl from Snoop's, this is the best Snack Shack I ever been to. I had the only Snack Shack with lamb chops.
That's your Friday spinoff right there, Snack Shack. Felicia owns a Snack Shack. Write your own movie. I'm telling you right now. Write your own movie. Felicia, after Friday, after that whole life, moved on and opened a Snack Shack and became the Snack Shack mom for like Little League football.
I'm gonna tell you where Felicia is now. Debo kept her pregnant 10 years straight. They birthed an entire defensive line.
Hilarious.
Damn.
So now,
rest in peace, Tiny.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. That was one of my babies. He was so good to me. He was always so generous. He always kept telling me, "I'm talking to Q for you. I'm talking to whoever everybody big. He was gonna talk to him for me." He was He was a very complex man. Very, very complex. All of us.
Yeah.
People who are working on a world stage in front of people. There are layers to this. One day I would see him. He would be Bible thumping, and the next time I see him, he be like, "Fuck that bitch, I don't fuck with her."
Sounds about right. You got to walk both lines.
You do.
I get it.
You know, and people call us crazy, but you know, it's just that we're very complex. It's a be on a plane writing jokes.
Mhm.
I wrote something. I don't know if it's funny or not, but it had me giggling. So, it's.
Are you doing the bit right now?
I was. It's funny to me, but it's sick. You know, you can go to jail for.
Go to jail.
We already dark. Go.
It's very dark.
Go ahead.
I mean, have you seen my sets? Ain't there like you can you go to jail for for beating up the dead? Because one of my friends was like, told somebody on site, nigga. But it just so happened that on site was at his wake.
Damn.
He smiled. You know? I'm
That's just
sorry, that was so dark. But that's what popped in my head.
beating up.
Yo,
dead
I mean,
body.
it's happened. People have shot up corpse. People
You
will
go to jail for that though.
People go to funerals and start shooting
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
funeral and shit. I mean,
That is
A few
criminal
rappers say that in
activity
songs, right? Go to the funeral,
desecration
shoot
of
the
a
corpse.
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
There's something.
yeah.
on site.
If a nigga did it, they got a law for it. Shit.
I'm gonna
On
forget
site.
you one way or the other.
Site
I was
is
thinking
real.
about people that'll turn on you. A girl, 6'3" with size 5 shoes, she gonna turn on you. Boy, and these
Why?
jokes you can flip. A girl 5'2" with a size 12 foot, you could turn them. So somebody real light skin, green eyes, with nappy hair, she gonna turn on you. Now, you can flip it.
She got
If a
it.
girl look like Ashley Larry with good hair,
Damn.
Ashley Larry has good hair.
she's going to turn on you. In some
She gonna-
fucking-
Are we doing punch up now?
I'm sorry.
On Friday.
I'm sorry. So back to what I was saying. I was carrying this bucket of water across the country, getting back and forth. I didn't miss any games. I made it somehow. I had generous friends. I downsized. I did what I had to do, and I saw it through. And my kid excelled. They wouldn't let me do anything. So, with his signing bonus, he opened my restaurant.
Nice.
And I kept it open for
Nice.
7 years. He was really proud of me. He knew my heart. He knew how hard I worked. He knew my hands were tied, and I was sacrificing, I was walking that line for him. And yeah, he opened my restaurant.
So with the signing bonus, so he got signed to
the Lions.
nice.
Then he got traded to the to the Colts, and he broke his back and had a serious injury. And one of his mentors was Andrew Luck.
Oh, wow.
And they walked away from the game at the same time. Andrew said, you got to think about your life. They're both scholars. They're both high, IQs. And Bradley walked away, and me and his dad were, we were right there with him. It was a family thing. It's like, you don't have anything else to prove to anybody. You were invited to the combine. You were drafted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Played on the highest level.
You played at the highest level. You were invited to do that. And I used to brainwash him when he was little. You should tell him things. You're getting a graduate degree from USC. You know that, right? Okay. And he called me maybe 4 months. He took a break. He had been playing football for 20 years. He took a break, and he called me one day. He goes, so I got accepted to USC School of Cinematography. And I did that dance. I did that Three Stooges dance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he applied for one of the most coveted spots 48 hours before the deadline. Ran around, got everything done, the essay, everything. And they accepted him, and he got through that with flying colors. One of his scripts, the year he came out, ended up on the blacklist. And then one of his scripts went down to the semifinals of the Nichols.
All right, wait. Tell us what the blacklist is.
The blacklist is created by, it's a long-standing list. There's been some of the most iconic films on it. It's it's a list that studio heads and producers create for the best unproduced scripts in town. And there's 15 scripts a year that go on it. And Bradley was on that.
And what's the other one? The Nichols, you said?
And the Nichols is the Academy Awards writing competition. And his professors really loved him, and it's mostly, college students, and the professors will enter it. And Bradley's went down to semifinals in two separate scripts. He got perspective. One of the things I did for him, he's about 7 years old. I put a world map in his room. And I said, look, there's LA. And I asked him, I said, can you find LA? And he just looked. I said, there it is. And he looked, because you crisscrossing the city. The city is huge. Then give him some perspective. Look how small. He was like, that is small. I was like, it's small. Now look at the whole world. He was like, this is the world? And it's my heart started racing because the lights went off. Perspective. The world is bigger than LA. The world is bigger than your elementary school. And ever since then, he's been a citizen of the world. He'll get on a flight going to the UK like we're going to Chicago. He's been in 20, but the perspective, so you give your children perspective. Another thing I used to do for him, you've seen kids being drug out of the park or drug from parties, kicking and screaming. So I gave him perspective of time, as well as showed him that I was going to be fair. So trust me, I'm going to be fair. But you got to trust me. I'm going to be fair. So you're at the park, you go to him, you say, we're leaving in 20 minutes. Then cut that in half and go back, and we're leaving in 10 minutes. Go back in 5 minutes. But you get down to their level. I started this, he's 3 years old. We're leaving in 5 minutes. Then at 2.5 minutes, it's time to clean up and say your goodbyes. He got so good at it, we'd be someplace. He'd come back to me, it's 2.5 minutes, you say your goodbyes.
Yeah.
So he got perspective. We're talking about a 5-year-old that knows what increments, what 10 minutes actually is, because everything is time management. Everything is discipline, but everything is time management and decision making. And that's these sort of exercises. He decided to be a good thinker. We didn't teach him what to think. You got to think though. You got to think.
I did that today, actually. So we're gonna get back to the movie and everything, but since we talk about our babies, and I will talk about my baby all day.
Absolutely.
He about to call a little while to say goodnight anyway. But today we had to play the play space, and it's, hey, you got 15 minutes. Did you jump on everything you wanted to jump on? Did you play everything you want? I want to play that again. Go ahead, play it again. I want to slide down that again. Slide down that again. Let him do all of that, and I just sat there, and he came back and said, okay, I'm done. Like, let him just touch everything he wants to touch one more time. He came back and was like, all right, let's go. I let him dictate it. Second, what I do with him when we do letters and numbers every morning is he wants to play with his toys when he wakes up, comes in the room, Dad, can I play with this? Can I do this? What do we have to do first? We have to work first. And I'm like, what comes first? Work comes first. After work, what? After work, I can do whatever I want. After work is done. Okay, so don't come in here and ask me, can you play? Because you know what you have to do. And he'll go get his letters and say, okay, let's do letters. And we'll do letters. I say, okay, we got to do writing. We do letters, numbers, and then we do a writing exercise.
Oh, hello.
And once it's done, I say, hey, guess what? We done. What can you do now? And he says, whatever I want.
He said, whatever I want.
I have to do whatever you want. And he has a trillion toys in the house. So he'll start pulling toys out. And I'm like, you see, you can do whatever you want after what? After work is done. So he knows there's not even no back talk when it's like time to work. Because if you don't do it, you don't get to play. That's every day. And today was at the play space was 15 minutes. Let's go. Yeah. And I want to say something else. I do FaceTime when I'm on the road, and it's fine where Dada is on the road. So if I'm in Cleveland, lovely. He goes, looks at the map and finds Cleveland. And he's like, Dada's here. If I'm in,
perspective.
Seattle, hey, Dada's here. And I've told them this. I don't want my son to subscribe to a notion as basic and as broke as I represent this street. Broke people and basic motherfuckers think, yo, I represent 3rd Street.
Right.
When you look at the scope of the earth, what does that really mean to you?
Right.
That you're fighting for a street you don't have no property on, you don't own anything on, but you're willing to die for this block because the guys, your rivals, live on the other block. My son's not going to subscribe to that.
Y'all are right here.
My son's like, wait, y'all fighting over what? Over the street? I just got back from Spain. What are we doing here? Yeah. We just went to Turks and Caicos for my birthday. What are we talking about? Fighting over the street. I can't subscribe to this.
Exactly. Bradley got out of the country. He was about 9. First time he was out of the country, he was 6. We went to Windsor. I'm from Detroit. So I took him to Windsor, and I kept telling him, we're going out of the country for lunch.
Right over the bridge.
Right over the bridge.
Yeah.
So I kept telling him, so we get there to security, and the guy's talking to me, and he says, roll down the window. Let me talk to the kid. And he rolls down the window. He says, hey, son, what are you doing today? Going out of the country for lunch?
He said, going out of the country for lunch.
We're going out of the country for lunch. You know, something else I used to do, too. We'll get back to it. I used to tell him, look around the room, and every night we would do this. And just look around. I turn off the light, and I said, tell me everything in here that's square. Tell me everything in here that's red. I would do a shape. I would do a shape, a color, and then how many, I would do a number. And that, you know, and then decision making. That's the most important thing to an adult, making good decisions. That's where your life, and I told him the other day, when I saw him, I was like, you have never let me down. I'm so proud of you. You have just made I'll wear him out with how proud I am of him. But I used to put out, he'd be in the bath, and I put out Spider-Man underwear, Superman underwear, or Batman underwear. Make your decision.
He's wearing underwear. 36 years old, still wearing underoos. What?
I can hear in your voice how proud you are, and when you say the decisions, you know, my son will be 25 in 2 days, the 24th
Happy birthday
of this month.
Oh, Mr. Elliot.
Yeah, and you know, I'm the same way. I'm like, he graduated grad school in May 21st. And I'm just like, yo, your decision-making skills are impeccable, bro. Like, you really make great decisions.
Got the chills.
And I couldn't be any more happier. His decision-making skills, I would say, probably were a little bit better than mine.
And that's what you want.
and that's what I wanted. You know what I mean?
I told Bradley all the time, you have to be better than me.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
You see all these people coming out wanting autographs, wanting this, you see everything that I did, you have to surpass that.
Yeah.
You have to.
So it's good. But it's a testament of the parenting, you know, and how you bring them up, how you raise them, those talks. Right. You know, not raising them necessarily the way you were raised in certain elements. Just, you know, you take a little bit of that and take a little bit of how you do it and just mix it all together.
Bam.
And then boom, you know, you have successful human
We always
beings.
made sure.
I was writing the other night, and I was like, is this a bit or is this more like a statement? And I was like, I got to find the funny in it if it's going to be a bit. But I was like, it is definitely a statement that, especially men, especially young black men, we want our children to have the same like street sense that we had, right? To be street smart like we were, to be like tough like we were, like we are, street smart like we are, and be able to see the scam before it happens and know that this guy means is a threat and
warning,
like we do,
Robinson.
right? Like we all have that.
It's a sense.
But then I say to myself, you know how much horrible shit I had to see in my life to develop that sense? You know how much bad shit I had to see with my own 2 eyes to have that? You don't want your kid to have that because I've seen people shot dead in my lifetime in front of me. That's how I have the sense of like, yo, this dude's up to something. I've seen people robbed that didn't see it coming. That's how I have the sense of like, yo, watch out. This guy's little. You don't want your kid to have that.
You don't, but
because they gotta, in order for them to have it, they gotta live the same way you did as a child.
Yeah, but if they know how to think, if they see how you think in that situation, they still got to be in the experience for themselves.
It's all based on me having that wherewithal is based on the experience, living the experience.
Right.
So you really want your kid to have those senses that you have? They got to go through what you went through. That's not what you want. So the fact that your kid isn't street smart, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Bradley, I used to play when he was in 3rd grade. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, like right when we would take long trips, and the only thing I would play in the car is Richard Pryor. His timing is impeccable, and I would explain things to him. Like I didn't hold anything back. I have friends that I don't want him to know that, you know, not about my kid, but their children. If Bradley comes to me and asks me anything, I'm going to tell him just for that sake.
Right.
you
No,
know,
that's different.
knowledge
To
is
teach
power.
them that, for the parents to teach them is different. I'm talking about what I had
For
to
life
see
to teach.
on the block. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, is that how we living
Yeah.
over here? You know,
Yeah.
that's I don't want my kid to do. I don't want my kid to see that.
What
A
album was you
conversation,
playing?
sure, we could do that.
Yeah.
So what album was you playing? Which Richard
All
Pryor?
of them.
Woo.
The whole, that's when CDs, the whole, what do they call the CD? You
The
stack
whole.
them
Yeah,
and then you pop it in there.
Yeah,
The
the
six disc
CD.
changer?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
disc
Yeah.
changer.
Yeah.
So it was just filled up. That nigga's crazy. Bicentennial nigga.
Oh man,
Nigga, you
stuff.
crazy.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest comedy albums
man,
ever.
Yeah.
And
Many a day. Many
yeah.
a day in the house, like man.
So B can go to the hood. He went to Miami. I was like, he'd be all right. Somebody stole his tag though, but he was a little reckless with that. Just left it.
Yeah.
And I didn't find. I kind of put it together. Kept asking him, "I don't see your tag, where?" And it hit me, and I was like, "Wow, them niggas got it."
Oh, exactly.
Shit, I gotta get mine renewed.
All right, wait. So we're gonna shift back to the movie. We're gonna shift back to the film. So I remember
Parody 101.
My brother is good friends with Reginald Hudlin.
Yeah,
They're very good friends, right?
Yeah.
Reginald Hudlin tells a story about I think it was House Party. Did he do House Party? Was it
Yeah.
Reginald?
Yeah,
Hudlin?
the Hudlin
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah, it was Hudlin
Okay,
Brothers,
so
him and Warrington.
They had the screening for the Suits in Westwood somewhere at the studio. Like this is not the premiere. This is like the white people got to see it and sign off on it first. Right? That's another thing they don't know about the industry. Like
right?
people be thinking like, yo, somebody gave you a job. No, the white man had to sign off on that. So but that's neither here nor there.
And
That's
keep
neither here nor
signing
there.
off and keep signing off.
So yeah, so they had the screening for the Suits in Westwood. Reginald Warrington in a room full of white people, and they showed them House Party, and they just like, yo, like he's like, man, my fucking back was sweating, and I'm just like, oh god, and let's see what these white people think. And he said when it was over, they were like, holy shit, like I grew up just like that.
Wow.
He said the Suits were like, yo, that's. I remember we used to sneak out of my dad's house and do. And it almost was like they broke through a barrier of guess what? We all grew up the same way.
Right.
Y'all think because it was in the inner city, it wasn't the same type of fun that you guys had.
There's different music.
Different music, different cars, whatever.
Yeah.
Parents had different jobs. Some had both parents. But for teenagers, we all grew up the same way. So the Suits are watching House Party like, holy shit. Like, I remember trying to get back home and the bully was chasing me, and they signed off on the movie right then and there.
Wow.
And I think that's some of the appeal of Fridays as well.
Absolutely.
Like it was, like you said, it was everybody thought LA was Bloods and Crips and murder. But within that, some of it was,
absolutely.
But within that are people that get up and go to work every day and want the best for their children, and parents that have been married for 30 plus years,
absolutely.
and the fine girl around the corner,
Ice cream man,
just like Bed-Stuy, how we grew up, it was violent as hell.
Yeah,
but there was the fine girl and the cool kids and the guys,
the neighborhood bully,
and the dude that ran the numbers. So I think an appeal that Friday had as well was that when people saw it, it was like, oh shit, I grew up like
Everybody
that.
grew up like that.
It didn't seem so hood once the mainstream saw it. And I think, and this is gonna sound weird for the dummies, but for anything to really catch on and be popular, it has to cross over at a level. On some level, it has to cross over.
Here's the thing: it's called the human condition. If you can meet that, you're in there, and we got in the sweet spot.
Right.
House Party was in the sweet spot of the human condition where everybody could see it. You didn't have to take a veil off. It was just you could see the human condition through that wall with both of those projects,
right.
Because they were very authentic and it displayed humankind and did it well. Reginald Hudlin is a genius. F. Gary Gray is a genius. Ice Cube, DJ Pooh, they are geniuses. And they just, something too though with Friday, limited budget. Whenever you have a limited budget, it forces your hand to be creative. Right. That's when you're your most creative. When you got all this money to spend, you're like, but when you are when you got a running gun, it was all on one street. It was the day in a life.
Yeah.
Right? It's I don't think anything will eclipse it. I think the 2 and 3, Friday After Next Friday, I think they were great.
Yeah.
For what they were.
Didn't like them.
They
Don't
wasn't.
say that.
Didn't
Take
like
that
it.
Well,
back.
it
Don't
went
say
away.
it.
Like 'em.
It went
I
away
just-
from what the
I think
original.
What
it should have been one
was.
and done.
No, this is what it
And
should
just
have.
let that shit live forever as one of the greatest cult classics, greatest classics.
I think it could
Didn't-
have.
You didn't need a sequel. Is that what you're saying?
Did you need the sequel? Got love for everybody in all of them. All
Right.
of them.
I mean,
2, 3, 4, 5.
I can't
Love
unsee it. So
like
like,
that.
Love everybody.
I can't
But
unsee
one
that.
was one was
take them away.
that's that shit.
It was like Uptown Saturday Night. That's what it was. It was a black ensemble, and that the 70s. There was a comedy explosion.
It was Let's Do It Again.
Let's do
Cotton
it again.
Comes to Harlem.
Cotton
Don't
comes
need
up.
don't need a sequel. Don't need a sequel.
But here's the thing. Because of where film was in the 90s and how we were telling stories, I think there could have been a sequel that stayed in that neighborhood.
Right.
And you watched those, you fell in love with these characters. Like you knew these characters. And I think it would have been great to watch them evolve, to be a series and watch them evolve and what, what's going to happen with Felicia and Dee, but what's going to, is he going to get his job back? Listen, I liked the other two projects. I really, really did. But for me, being part of the first one, I just would have liked to have seen those characters in his neighborhood. We love that neighborhood. Money Mike could have lived around the corner and Pika could have lived down the street.
Yeah, we never knew it.
And Suge could have, Auntie Suge could have been, Chris's aunt.
Right.
Sign off with the kiddo, man.
You got to.
Got to.
That's why I came off the road. I came off the road when he was 3. I remember I went back to work. I did Addison.
Improv?
Addison Improv.
Ooh, good room.
And I was still lactating.
Oh, wow.
And by Wednesday, his dad was calling me. He's crying. And I was like, I am too. We were both. And I did not show well. And that's when I started think. It's like, Ange, what, you can't sit on the fence. You gotta do one or the other. But I remember all that. Every morning I send Bradley a text on his way to work.
Nice. Wait, he's in film now. That's what he's doing?
Mm-hmm.
Writing, producing?
Well, he's got the scripts on the blacklist, remember? And he has a project out now that looks like there's a studio that really, really likes it. They're talking about it. They're talking about it a lot. And then he's on a I can't really. I have been given explicit instructions to just not talk about it. Okay, but he's doing very well.
I so see, especially with him being in film. Just a title, Felicia. I'm telling you, that joint would hit.
He ain't going that way. Wait, you'll see what he's doing.
Yeah, but not even for this project, but just in the future, like. A Bye Felicia or Felicia movie, like it's so many platforms. You could put that joint on, and it will Tubi, anything.
YouTube series
that will be.
They've been dragging me for the last 3 years. I was talking about. I got emotional on one
series.
A YouTube series would be great.
I actually did a Friday YouTube series.
They'd be so interested to act like find out an updated like. How's Felicia doing? And you just kind of do a day in her life every week. People would be so into that.
Look, it starts off. You hear like the jail cell
opening,
and they walk you out. You got a bag in your hand. You get to the gate. They open the gate, and the CEO says, "Bye, Felicia." And you just walk out.
I like that.
You walk out.
And then cut her back on that street, right? She can walk down the Friday street.
Get back to the street. It's gentrified.
Everything changed. Oh man,
that's crazy.
That's
He's like, wait,
where the fuck is in this era of social media now, with how you're always trending. Like it's never a clip
Bradley
that comes
told me,
up.
Mom, you go viral twice a month.
Yeah, it's never a clip that comes up with you on there, whether it's from your stand-up or whether it's from the Bye Felicia, whatever the case may be, where it doesn't have thousands and thousands and thousands of views.
Because people remember that.
You just gotta create. You just gotta create the story.
Here's the thing: you have to create the intention too.
Mm-hmm.
What's the intention? What is the story? For me, the story is watching a sister come up out the mud, being victorious. I don't necessarily want to see her here. I want to see the arc. And for me, the story is a drama. Because we haven't seen that.
Well, yeah, you can make it a dramatic series.
Felicia gets out of jail.
That sounds like a play.
She comes back to the block. It's gentrified. She's looking for old friends.
Yeah.
She finds out that Debo left her a lump sum of money.
Oh man.
Where'd Debo get a lump sum? No, she got 8 babies.
And now she
got 8 big head babies.
One of them make it to the league.
I'm 6 feet.
One of them made it to the
All
league.
8 of them.
Okay,
Pro athletes.
So
She
she's in
birthed
prison.
an entire defensive line.
Well, she birthed the defensive line. They're all in the league. She's filthy rich.
She's
and
trying
now
to
she moves
reconnect.
to
Mm-mm.
the Hollywood
Calabasas.
Hills because one of her kids plays for the Rams.
Mm-mm. She stay in the hood.
No, yeah.
From the hood up to the hill with
No,
you.
I
You
can see
walk
that.
inside
They still got the house.
It's the modern day Beverly Hillbillies.
Bam.
Mm-mm.
The outside is still rickety, but you walk inside, it's marble floors.
Yo, it's there
She
though.
put $6 million.
We can write this right now.
It's in here.
This is big.
It's there.
It's in there. And I see it's in your head. You just gotta just like how you said, it's been so long since I've done comedy, whatever. I guarantee you,
We're still
if
in.
you was to go next week, if you got on stage 5 days next week, just 5 days, and just kind of just did 10 minutes, it will come back to you. Now, I'm not going to say the set would be good, but your rhythm, you'll be like, oh,
You'll
shit.
feel it again.
It won't, it's there.
I get on a roll sometimes, and I'll I host party, I'll do this, or I'll be somewhere and I'll just get on a 10-minute roll where people are just holding their stomachs and looking at me like, who are you?
Yeah.
But I just, I don't know.
What
I don't know.
was
I
that
got
thing you
this
said
kid.
last week?
I don't want to embarrass him. I don't want to put him in a.
What stops you from the saying?
If you do everything that you don't want to do, if you do everything that you're putting off and everything you're avoiding and everything you're procrastinating on, if you do every one of those things, you will have everything you ever wanted in life.
Ooh, you'll win. That's how you win.
Very
That's
sobering
what's
thought.
what did she say? It was a woman I saw speaking, and she said, I wish I knew her name because I want to give her credit. She said people will say like, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, you can be a millionaire. What are the things that you are putting off and avoiding and not doing to get you that $1 million? Do all of those things. You will have $1 million. If you do everything that you don't want to do, you will have everything you ever wanted in life.
I mean, the things that you're putting off.
You want it. You don't want to go work out. I'm tired. I don't want to work out. Go work out. That's the thing you're putting off. I got to make this phone call. Make the phone call. I got to finish writing the script. If you do everything
that you think you don't have time for,
you will be exactly where you want to be. That's what's holding you back from there.
It's time. I just don't know if I want to be traveling around the country as a 60-year-old telling jokes to drunk motherfuckers. I just don't know if that's really what I want to do with it. You know,
but not even with that. Okay. But I think it's so much like with the book, right?
Where's my book?
And we're gonna talk about the book because a book is not an easy start to finish process. Right.
Absolutely. It took me 20 years.
Wow. See.
You know what I mean?
And it's a masterpiece. Everyone that reads is like, my friend's out there, she's on the second stage and she was just like, whoa, I had to put it down and force myself to go to sleep. I picked it back up twice. It's, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I wanted to go. Yeah, that's what I was telling the book. Yeah.
So, let me tell you about you and your brother first.
Okay. Which brother? I have 7.
The only one that I know.
Okay.
And absolutely.
See that? I don't give anyone. Good. The dummies be watching, so I got to make sure I keep them in check.
You two are the same.
In what regard?
You're the same.
In what regard?
The frequency, the vibration. Okay. He is February 5th. 7th, excuse me. 7th. You're right. This liquor.
Captain Kirk to the rescue.
Captain Kirk, just strike
me up, Scotty. He's February 7th, and you're June 30th, correct?
Correct.
So 6 and
whoa. Just with all due respect.
Okay.
I don't want the numerology stuff done on me. You could do it on
No,
them.
no, I'm not. No,
I don't want
trust me.
the pulling of the crystals and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I believe that only the Most High knows my future. Knows.
Let me just tell. I'm not
Most High
telling you
made
your
the
future
numbers.
because I don't know your future.
Okay. I just make
All
sure.
I can do is tell you this.
Okay, February 7th and June 30th. Go.
February is a 2-month, and 7 is a 7. So 2 plus 7 is what?
9.
June is a 6-month.
And 3. 9.
And 3. So you're both 9s, which is it's a completion. I'm not telling you what's going to happen.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 9. I get it.
Right. It's humanitarian. It's philanthropy.
Yes.
That's when I looked up your bio and I was like, he's a 9. My son, he's a 9. You know, it's completion. It's the ability to do what you say and say what you do. And both of you are like that. Both of you are brilliant. You're the same. I say you're the same person because numbers are frequency. The number 7 has a frequency. Everything in here has a frequency. Every thought coming out of my head has a frequency. I tell people how to manifest. I don't tell people, you want money, don't ask for $1 million because you're going to end up in trouble. Just, you ain't never had no money. Just $50,000. Start right there. Start at $50,000. And you feel like you already have it. And the biggest, the most incredible, most powerful frequency that we create is gratitude. So you're just saying all day long.
I read that 2 days ago.
All day long. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have this $50,000. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have $50,000. $50,000 is the exact same frequency. The real $50,000 is the exact same frequency as your thought. They match. Like attracts like. So the universe just wakes up. Abracadabra. It's in the Bible. Ask and you shall receive. But the frequencies match. That's how you manifest. You just match that frequency and the universe has no other choice. That's law. But to make it materialize. It'll just drop out the sky and you'll be like, a week later, you're like, it's here. But what we do, how it slows down is we get in our own way. You got me effed up. You got you effed up. Now your $50,000 has slowed down because it doesn't match that you got me effed up frequency. If you stay, my whole thing is I'm so happy and grateful now that large quantities of money come to me on a regular basis in increasing quantities. And I stay on that frequency. You ain't got me messed up by nothing. No, you messed up. You keep that messed up over there because I'm happy and grateful. I'm happy.
Well, some of my friends, some of my old friends, they definitely see me as $50,000. They definitely see me. They frequency is he got $50,000. Some of my old friends, they ain't friends no more. They was always on $50,000.
So what I'm saying is, you and Chris are the same in terms of frequency. That 9, you both resonate. That 9. He has a Chris. I saw his first album in Atlanta. I was there. I opened for him.
Big Ass Jokes?
When he did in the Comedy Act Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
In the Comedy Act Theater.
Yeah. And I remember taking him a cup of water to the stage. He had asked for a cup of water and one of the waitresses was taking it and I was like, I'll take that. I took it to the stage. I was like, I took it to the stage. And I'm very awkward. I'm very socially awkward. People don't believe me because I've done all these things, but I'm very introverted. I'm shy. I'm socially awkward. And that was my way. Chris looked at me like, bitch, give me the water. Give me the water. And I was just standing there and I think it was shaking. I wanted to see him in that moment. I wanted to see him up close. I wanted to feel that frequency. I wanted to feel what that was like because I was a student of the game. And at that point, he was the team captain. He was the quarterback. He was the pinnacle of this. And I walked right into that energy and I felt it and I was just like, oh, there's some shit right here. I was like, here, nigga, take the water.
Take the water.
Take the water.
The night that I saw my brother Dave Chappelle and Kev at the Garden, best comedy show I ever saw in my life.
Wow.
That whole building the Madison Square Garden was in the air. The frequency was that high. It was like I was in there. I told him I shed a tear when my brother walked out on stage. Like it was just so. Yeah. The energy was, you could feel it. It was like a force like pushed. I was just like, oh shit! And then it went dark and the CR popped up and I was like, Chris, whenever he does a show, our little I'm here thing between us two is once it goes dark, it gets quiet. You ever notice that when the theater goes dark, everybody gets quiet. Just before you hear that roar, it gets quiet. And once it gets quiet, right in that little split second where it's quiet, I just go, Chrissy! So he hears it backstage like, Tone's here. Mm-hmm. And when that CR popped up, I said, Chrissy! And the fucking tear came out my eye. And it was a dude, random dude, sitting over here. I was at the side of the stage. Like I was in the showroom, but off to the side in the rows of seats. And there was this random guy just heard me scream and looked, and then he saw the CR pop up and he looked at me and he got up out of the seat and said, yo, man, I love the way you love your brother, man. I fucking love that shit. And just went and sat back down. Never seen this dude before in my life. And after the show, Naeem came to me. Naeem was like, yo, man, just the way you fucking treat this dude, the way you feel about your brother, man, this is just something to see, bro.
And he loves you too. He let you carry
of course,
water.
Of course. Yeah, well, I carried a lot of water.
Absolutely.
I carried a lot of water.
I mean, you watch what happens though. It's people sometimes do you a disservice. I don't know. That's a whole nother story.
They can't do me disservice. I'm sitting comfortably in my seat. I know exactly how I got this chair.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Me and Janet.
What is it? Me and Janet.
I love it.
I like that one. I like that.
Okay, we gotta go back. We gotta because we gotta get to the 30-year anniversary and all that stuff.
Okay.
This is the thing. You working on a project, right? Anybody in here, you working on a project. You so involved in the day to day of it all, you don't get a chance, or do you get a chance to like stop and realize we are creating something that's gonna be a fucking juggernaut in this industry. Did you guys have that wherewithal? Did anybody have it? If so, who had it, and what did they say to the rest of you?
I knew it. I knew it from when I read the script. You know, when my agent sent me the sides and set up the audition, and I went in and I slammed. Like, I just had fun. And me and that cat, when I left, I was like, she bringing me back.
Oh, nice.
And sure enough, within a day or two, I had a meeting with Gary, and I came in and we did it all over again. And Gary was like, okay, I see you. When I left that, I was like, that's my job. And about a week later, I'm walking my dog and it popped that Cube project. I know that I knew that job was mine. And I loved that character. It was a chance for me to really work and work the craft. You know, that's when they say the craft. I was going to create her and, you know, put it all in because I knew she was special. She was complex and had been through some things. And I wanted to bring her to life. So I called my manager's office and I said, we were talking. And I said, well, what about that Cube project? Oh, yeah, you booked it. We passed.
Oh.
What?
That's what I said. Just like that.
Oh, pass.
I was like, nah, we're not. Nah. Well, honey, we don't see you that way. We don't see you that way. I was like, but, and I didn't want to play my hand and say, look, I don't see myself in this business for very much longer. This might be it for me. So, you know, I was polite. I said, no. No. You better hope that they didn't move on.
Yeah.
And thank God, something just downloaded from the universe, said call in. And thank God the script was on my porch the next day. But I knew that if Chris came, when you read the script, you read it as these people.
Right.
You know? Me and Faison used to hang damn near every day. I remember when he came to me and said, what do you think about this? What you think? Don't fuck with my emotions. I'm telling you, don't fuck. I say that'll work. Big fat nigga in an ice cream truck talking about his emotions. That's gonna work.
Playing with my money.
Playing with my money, like playing with my emotions. He said, that's what he said to me. Yeah. And I was like, that's gonna work. Like, yeah. I just remember it all. I just remember it if everybody, and I knew AJ was gonna kill it. I don't know if y'all was around when, you know, during the time when all of us was coming up, but
I mean, I was on the East
we
Coast.
could go. We could go. Every last one of us could go. And if everybody brought it, I knew it. I knew it. I don't think Chris and Faison knew it. That's why Chris cut loose the way that he did. He had nothing, no fingerprints on his brain. He just thought, he didn't think anybody was going to come to the movie.
Right.
He thought he was going to come see
Might as
us.
well have fun with it.
Yeah.
Might as well just do whatever the fuck I want.
Was that Gary's direction? Everybody just do their thing? Like stay within the parameters of the lines, but do your thing? Or was Gary like straight?
Or you like that with just Chris?
Chris was a runaway train. There was no one that was going to, no one was bigger than Chris on that set. When I tell you, I've never seen anything like it before, and I don't think I'll ever see. Every single take that Chris was in, we had to hold our laughs until Gary called cut. And when I say the laughter and just like rolling around and you know how we do running and shit. He was so funny that it was just impossible to rein him in. And I remember when I sat on the porch, I was like, you motherfuckers, whoa, wait. Chris took all the motherfuckers. There's no more motherfuckers left. So no motherfucker, Angie. I was like, okay, that's fair. But if you had been there and you saw, and I look at energy, I look at frequency, and then my neck and my back. I'll get back here taking a shit. And this man, hey, don't play my money, play my emotion, you know. And then Q was the biggest thing in the world, you know. Then you got all these Def Jam players, you know. We were all Def Jam all-stars. How was that not going to hit? And there was nothing like it. It had been House Party 3 had kicked it back off. You know, House Party 3 that's a decent film.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a decent film.
They don't have Bernie in there
but
too.
House Party 3 was the adults.
Yeah,
one didn't really match what this man's getting married now. I feel you on that. It was a departure from what the model of House Party 3 was, but it was a
immature.
Exactly. But then you had all these Def Jam comics.
Yeah, Bernie. That's where Bernie was in there.
Was Yvette in there too? She was in Friday.
Michael Collier.
Yvette Wilson. She was in Friday.
I think she was in House Party 3.
She was in Friday.
She was in Friday.
She was in Friday.
But yeah, House
Michael
Party 3
Collier,
brought
Bernie
out
Mac.
it introduced some people in a way.
Ronaldo, that dinner scene. You
Ronaldo
cannot tell
Ray.
me that anything is funnier than that dinner scene.
Yeah.
And Eric Meza came on the set and he said, I mean, I was sitting here, I was, you know, playing the consummate pretty girl, just infatuated with kid. And, you know, she knew the marriage wasn't going to last. She was just infatuated with the fact that she had this boy and she was debutante, Jack and Jiller, and, you know, was pissing off her dad. But her dad had that marriage and all 3 months later and sent her to France to shop. You know, she was okay with it. But I was watching these masters work in that dinner scene. You can't tell me that anything is funny as that dinner scene.
Yeah. That was
okay.
That's a funny scene.
It's the liquor.
Wait, look at Grammy. Grammy has seen none of these movies.
No, I've seen these movies. The thing I'm thinking about, though, when you say this, is I'm thinking about that time period and how there was, to me, not a plethora, but a good amount of comics in one movie. And now we look back and go, wow, so many really good comics were in that movie. And I'm thinking about that right now. And I'm thinking, like, why do you think it is that we can't see I don't know, Bruce, Arnaz, everybody in the same movie and think a big family laugh, like, you know, like.
We want to see Bruce and Arnaz, Trey Elliot, motherfucker.
Trey Elliot. Why can't we see people?
Yeah, we like Harlem Nights.
John Grimes. Yo, you know what I don't like? I hate when comics, we talk about why we don't see new comics and they say everybody but themselves. I love people and they start naming people.
I defer.
Because they were vets and he want to see them get their flowers. That's what it is. But here's the thing.
They got their flowers.
It was lightning. Hilarious.
Hilarious. I like flowers too, nigga.
Hey, roses really smell like boo-boo. It was the black comedy explosion.
Yes.
It was lightning in a bottle. It was for that time. And you'll never see anything. I don't know if you were in here, but it was Friday was Def Jam the movie, and nothing will match Def Jam. We're on the other side of the black comedy explosion. Now we're on the side with the, you know, we got hacks over here, we got, you know, redundancy over here, we got brilliance right here, and it's all meshed together.
Yeah,
but in
social
the 90s,
media caused that.
Exactly. But in the 90s, if you did Def Jam, they were very discerning. It was discerning. You had to earn that spot. You had to carry your water up on stage, right? You had to come with it. And the comics that were in House Party 3, Friday were the best of the best. And you'll never find it like that because the audiences are now jaded. They've seen it all now.
Yeah.
It was new. It was unreal. I remember being in a hotel, you know, our New Year's gigs are, you know, one of the biggest gigs of the year.
Big.
So being on tour, I was on a Def Jam tour, you know, 4 or 5 years, and sit in a hotel room, and they did a marathon of Def Jam. And here I am, this country girl, this introvert, you never saw me at no parties. You don't see me at no parties. You know, that's not what I do. You see me out, I'm doing stand-up. But here I am sitting in this hotel room, and every 30 minutes, my set shows around the world. I was 23 years old, and fortune teller. I didn't go to her. It was a bunch of us rolling. We're going to the club, and one of my friends, Kelly, she's like, "We're gonna stop it." And there's just fortune teller. I was like, "I'm not giving nobody no money to tell me. That's not gonna happen. 'Cause I don't spend money like that." So we go in, she tell everybody's fortune. We get ready to leave, and I'm like, "Oh, yo, we gotta go." She said, "And you?" I said, "I'm not giving you no money." She said, "You're gonna be one of the most famous people in the world." And I made me stop, and I was like,
Do tell.
I'm still not giving you no money.
Still not
Right?
giving no money.
She said, and she did it in this melancholic way. And I sat up right in the middle of the Jackfruit Cafe. That was the name of I sat straight up in bed and remembered it. She said, and I was like, "Okay, thank you." And I was walking out. She said, "And you're going to do it twice."
Ooh.
My restaurant shot around the globe. I mean, I was on every best of list. I was doing magazines from Vancouver to Australia to Thailand. I mean, it was insane.
Nice.
And then she got my attention. I said, "Well," and she told me I was going to have one son. And I always wanted to give everything I had to my child. Like I wanted to walk away and say, "Okay, come, it's yours." And I said, "Well, are they going to be?" She said, "Absolutely, but not like you." And I got this. I sat straight up in bed about 10 years ago and remembered that conversation. But back to what you were saying, it passed. Like that time has passed, and Cube was brilliant enough to capitalize on it in that moment. It was lightning in a bottle. You'll never capture it again.
I think y'all are both saying what you're saying is true, and what he's saying is true as well. The boom is past, undoubtedly. I don't think that means we still can't see a movie with a cast of super dope comedians together in it and make something that's like, holy shit.
It's got to be.
I agree with what he said and what you said.
Absolutely, but remember the backdrop.
I just think that we have to challenge ourselves more as writers now. We have to create the things.
It's got to be a good story.
We have to, it has to be. I think a great story is a great story. I think that we have to get past this whole thing. Just like Eddie tells the story about how they had the screening for Boomerang, and when they had the script of Boomerang, and the suits were like, "Well, these are all black people. Like, where's the white people that's going to run the company?"
Right.
Like, a company run by black people. They was like, they could, they had fucking blinders on.
Yeah.
But when it came out and everybody saw it, it was like, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It looks like it could really be, right?
It has to be.
I think the script did that.
The script, not only the script, but remember the backdrop was South Central LA. Right. And remember what was in the news all of the time. Was South Central, Rodney King, it was
everything
South
negative.
Central, everything negative, but people were mesmerized. So you combine South Central in the middle of the 90s. You combine every hot comic known to man in the middle of the black comedy explosion. Limited budget, so we're on this street. It was all just concentrated, and then it just said kaboom. So the backdrop has to make sense. It has to mirror the times. What are the times that we're in? It mirrored the times. Life imitating art, art imitating life. That's what was happening, and maybe the time is coming back around. We'll see. We're in this tech. We're in the tech world now. Maybe that's what it will be, but it will be kismet. It will be serendipitous. It won't be anything we sit down and say, "Okay, how are we going to eclipse this?" That was very serendipitous. We all came along at a certain time, and we all, it was just striking gold. The gold rush is over. That was in 1949. It's done. Now crypto came along. They struck it. Google. All those people are millionaires now. That's gone. It's done. So what else is on the horizon? I just don't, Uptown Saturday Night was 20, 25, 30 years. So maybe now.
No, Uptown Saturday Night was longer than that.
It was longer than that before Friday.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You're saying 20 years before Friday?
Yeah, between
yeah.
those.
I was just saying 25 years ago.
No. Uptown Saturday Night was eclipsed by Friday.
Yes.
Up to that point, nothing compared to it.
Yes.
Not even the house parties.
And I think too, now with the times being different, like you said, with that time being gone and that explosion being gone, I think too, the audience now are younger and younger and younger and younger.
Yes.
And their attention span are now used to what they're seeing on their phones and on this and on that. So
yes,
it's those things that you got to battle as well, because now they're used to seeing a 2-minute skit, 3-minute skit, instead of sitting down looking at a whole hour and a half featured
movies
film.
Are suffering it. They're producing 30% less movies than ever before, and it's just dwindling and dwindling and dwindling because of what you say. And today, young lady, 17 years old, she was watching. She said, "What was that the machine thing that you were asking for? What was the machine thing?" I said, "You mean the VCR?
A machine."
We just told Trent about DVDs outside. DVDs,
it's crazy
bro.
To me when I
push them in.
When I see your clip and I see people like, "What's the name of this movie? What's the name of this movie?" I'm like,
But filmmaking, that's an art form that will always be a thing to do to pass along stories, of a culture.
But
I think that
filmmaking
medium's
has
always
turned
gonna be
into sound bites.
True.
It's turned into literally. It started with the Vines. Vines went away.
Oh yeah.
But
Vines.
It turned
5
into
seconds.
scrolling.
yeah,
It turned into skits.
content instead of art. And everything, we focus more on content than we are on art now. It's more content than art.
That's why Ryan Coogler, first time in history, a black man tells a studio, "You stay out of this. What goes in this film is what I say goes into this film."
Mm-hmm.
Because never before has that ever happened. Ever. Because everything is so limited and cut. And somebody rises, they can do that. And they're trying to keep the industry in LA, but
It's going all over.
Now it's in your backyard.
Atlanta.
I think it's everywhere.
Atlanta,
Vegas,
Toronto,
Nashville.
Vegas.
Nashville, yeah.
Cat
Oklahoma.
Williams bought that lot, what, in like Louisiana or something like that?
yes, Louisiana.
Huge lot. Cat bought a lot like Tyler Perry did.
Oh, 50 bought one too.
50 Cent, yeah.
Yep.
So
It's amazing what black art looks like when you don't mess with it. When people that are in charge of the distribution and
But we just said, gave a statement and gave the answer to that statement. We can fix this ourselves.
do it ourselves.
50 got a studio, Cat got a studio, Tyler Perry got a studio. We can fix this ourselves.
yeah.
True.
The collaborative effort is where
We
we're
just don't do
lacking.
it.
We can, but
Collaborative,
it
like-
still falls down to even the head of the studios. They're still more concerned with content. It's like,
No, but if you have your own studio, if Tyler Perry says, okay, this
He's the exec.
I'm the head of the
Right.
studio, and if 50 says I'm the head of the studio, and Cat says I'm the head of the studio, and who's in Oklahoma? You said somebody's in Oklahoma.
I just know that they're doing
Yeah,
productions
but the
out
black
there.
heads of the studio says this is the movies we're making. We're making these movies for us. Y'all want to come in and be a part of it? Y'all can. What goes in this movie stays in this movie, like you said, what Kugler said, and that's it. This is the deal. If you say no, we put it on our streaming platform,
Yeah.
and we get 100% of the money.
The thing
They're gonna
is
jump. They're gonna jump.
distribution.
Yeah.
It's distribution is the person who's in control. And now with the internet, you saw what DC Young Fly did. They streamed something they put something on YouTube and it eclipsed anything that they could have done on ABC. I think it was like 50 million people. You know, what's the streamer kid? Kai
Snot.
Ty
Snot. K-I.
He'll have 1 million people. He'll be
It's unreal. He
It's a
streams,
streamer.
live streams his entire life in a room.
He just sits and talks.
Turns his camera
all day.
on. People just talk to him in the chat while he talks about his life or talks to guests. Kevin Hart came to his house. Like celebrities come to his house to hang out with him, and it's just a live stream.
LA?
I don't know where he is. Just
Yeah, I
his
know where
basement.
he
All you
is.
see is
I
his
don't know where
basement.
he
Okay.
And he'll have at one time there'll be 800,000 people on there for 6 hours straight.
And they-
what does he need ABC for?
And they pay like $30 to just be a part of it. $30-$50. So
Like
they
a
pay,
cover
he's
charge.
making millions.
What does he need ABC for? You're right.
Right.
So we're in a segue. Something is happening where, and the studios they're running scared. Like it's all streaming now. Streaming is movies.
Now, look,
Streaming
if I'm this guy, say his name again?
Kai Sinat, yeah.
I get some writers and write a script and say, yo, tune in.
Oh, yeah.
He
and
doesn't have to.
Watch it right here. Watch it right here. The 800,000 people, watch
He
it
could.
right here.
He could debut a lot of
I
things.
don't need ABC. Watch it right here.
His guests are people that probably pay to be on his stream so they can announce something,
Absolutely.
like an album dropping or something.
Why would
Rappers
I-
come there now.
Absolutely. I mean,
Kevin Hart went there to promote his movie.
That's the era we in though, to where your A-listers aren't just happy with just being A-listers no more. They're trying to get.
They
on
want
the,
more dimensions.
No,
they
that's
want those
sustaining
other
their- that's
dimensions.
sustaining
Yeah,
their
they
business.
like yo. So
If
now
I'm
you.
hot and I want to stay hot, I gotta go talk to
Yeah,
someone.
so
Yeah.
now you seeing
Yeah.
people who
Are you
spent
visible or
years
not?
and years on their craft, pairing up with content creators to
Exactly.
ride with them.
They're cutting the
But
middleman
so it
out now.
kinda-
Yeah.
so-
Exactly.
Yeah, that's scary.
If I'm a
Think about it.
content creator and I'm making $75 million a month, what do I want to do a movie for?
Right.
Because you still want to do a movie.
This kid's
'Cause
not
no-
a movie maker. He's
These
not
new
a
kids,
filmmaker.
these new
Because you
kids,
still
though.
want, but you
Oh, okay.
want to be in a movie.
They'll do a commercial. but-
Filmmaker
want
versus
to-
These
content
kids
creator.
different.
Yeah,
It's different
We
from
want
you.
to. We
You're
want
an
to.
artist. These
4
are
months
not
of my life,
artists.
they gonna
These
pass
are-
on that.
these are-
They're
No.
they're
There's a
content
difference
creators.
between a influencer and
And
an
a-
artist.
Listen,
Exactly.
listen.
Yep.
No,
You gotta
you
put
just
your-
I
said
agree.
it.
If you do, you said he did a commercial?
he does commercials. That
You
take
do
a day.
commercial because you want to
movie
do
take
a
months.
movie.
In his spare
No.
time.
I think
Could
his
you just
time
do a
is too
commercial?
precious.
because they pay him $5 million
And you
to
only did
appear.
for
Do
a
it
day.
with Snoop
You
Dogg
did it
for a day. Yeah.
Huh?
He does a commercial with Snoop Dogg for a day. He'll
For a
do
day.
that all day long. And
Okay,
he'll
he
live
don't
stream
wanna
that.
do a movie.
Okay.
He
He
don't
can't
have
live
to.
stream
He'll
4
say-
months of
and then
filming.
He'll sit down after the commercial's done and go, I really want to do a movie though.
He can do a movie in a day on his streaming. He can have Halle Berry could show up there.
He is the movie.
He is the movie.
He is the movie.
That's where
In his era, in
that's
his
where
world,
has
he is.
changed. That's why movies aren't being made because people want to be influencers.
He changed the pricing for Twitch. Like he's the reason they moved the pricing, the revenue sharing. Like because
It's
of his
crazy,
following,
too.
they're like, we gotta change how much we pay these people. Like
Oh, really?
he's a needle
Did you
mover.
see him get
And
bombarded in that parking lot? And
He's global. He goes to Africa. He goes wherever he wants. They be following him like he Michael Jackson. And it's
he's
like
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
even Michael Jackson made movies, but he didn't do it early.
What about Janet though?
All comes back around, comes full circle.
I love it. He's
Comes full
not
circle.
making a movie. A movie would be for him at this point. A movie would be a step back.
They have to pay him
Sounds crazy.
more than he makes streaming, which would cost the movie a lot
Yeah.
because he makes too much streaming every day.
So it's a
They not
different.
paying
there's-
The Rock
like you
that
said,
much money.
influencer,
what's
artist,
it?
two different things.
May?
Two separate
May.
things.
He'll be in the
Two
movie by
separate
the end of the
things.
year.
You think?
The budget for that movie were
Okay.
300
Okay.
million.
Even
Let's
the
see.
dude
Or a
on
leading
TikTok
man.
that got the most followers on TikTok.
Yeah, the
he
African brother.
He was in Bad Boys 4, but he was literally in there for 0.2 seconds.
Pointing.
Because the studios was like, we need him in there.
Because the cross promotion is worth the
Because
opportunity.
his following is going to watch it.
They believe
But you
that.
could give him a
His
film for
following
months.
is
You
bigger
couldn't
than the
give him
Bad
to-
Boys following.
That's crazy.
Kai's following, what's his name?
Kai
Kai
Cenat,
Cenat.
yeah.
His following is
The revenue he's taking in is crazy for what he does.
Good for
that.
him.
Yeah, absolutely. He
Good for
probably
But
making
I love,
$200 million
I love hearing all
a
these
month.
stories about so and so getting X amount of dollars, and so and so getting X amount of dollars for a movie, and so getting X amount of dollars for a TV show or a tour. Because that just tells me the money's out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Money is definitely
So when I
good.
say I want 50 million, they won't go, who the fuck it? Hey, you just
You just
The
pay
market.
him.
The market.
80.
It's
I gotta be
marketing, but
50.
it's also law, supply, and demand.
Yeah, he's created
Yeah,
a market for
creating
himself
it.
where he's invaluable.
I'm just saying the number won't be shocking when you go in with your number. 'Cause
Right,
if they
right,
got
right.
the money to give.
That's the
The
world that
world
we
of
living
money.
in. Like on the phone, there's everything. Like your eyes, that's money. There's value in you looking at.
There's just so
somebody.
many tools to make money now or get popular now. Like it used to be one like YouTube maybe or Google 10 years ago. Now it's Google,
But think about when we
Snapchat,
was
TikTok,
coming up.
everything.
When I was coming up, there was nothing but the only
Jack
people
Carson.
that just
Yahoo
Warner,
Personals.
You know, ABC.
Yeah.
Everybody was in that same trying to get to these same. When I was a kid, I don't know how old you are, but when I was a kid, it was only ABC, NBC, CBS, and then the UHF channels.
That's how it was for all of us growing up.
UHF.
The channel's on the bottom knob.
Yeah.
Oh, the frequency. The other frequency. That channel noise.
CBS, NBC,
ABC.
and
CBS?
we had,
CBS.
I said CBS, NBC, ABC.
Yeah, the big three.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the UHF channels. It was mostly local people.
Yeah. Then we used to have a CBS, NBC, ABC, and then we had like a like channel 14 or 15.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Used
where
to
the music box
used to show the
came up.
Knicks games. Like in New York, they would show local Knicks games. And I'm like flicking all the way down like, oh.
In Detroit, we had a off channel and they showed the dance. It's called The Scene. And it was like a local Soul Train.
Wait.
Sugar,
Tell
salt,
us about the book before we wrap
Okay,
it up.
all right, okay. Seven Sinners and the Angel. Look how pretty it is.
Tell us about Seven Sinners and what? Wait.
Seven Sinners and the Angel Who Loved Them.
Okay, tell us about this book.
And so do y'all remember Lamont Bentley? He was the well, when Lamont Bentley, I've always been a number.
Who's Lamont Bentley?
Lamont Bentley was a dark-skinned kid on Moesha.
Who got killed in the car.
Next door.
And he got
Next
killed.
door.
He was ejected. He was the funny outlet over the top one on Moesha.
Hey, Mr. Mitch.
No.
You know Lamont. If I show you a picture of him.
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he got killed back in the early 90s. He was ejected from his car. He went down the 405 the wrong way.
Wow.
And he was ejected and it was bad.
Ooh. Oh, word. I didn't know he died in a car accident.
Yeah, that was a car accident. So back then is when I first kind of stepped away from everything. And I'm this number savant. Like if you tell me your birthday, I'm going to remember it forever. And when I look at you, whenever Tony Rock name comes up forevermore, I'll see June 30th. I'll see that 6. I'll see that 3.
I won't see that gift.
So
11/11.
You're 11/11?
Yep.
Wow, you know how powerful that is?
It's a master number. So I heard.
I'm 11/19. We're the same because the 19 turns into a 1. 9s eliminate everything. 9s eat up everything. That's why 9s are brilliant.
9s eat up everything.
1970.
Okay. Anywho. So I had discovered that the number 7 was associated with most musical artists.
Mm-hmm.
Will is a 7, and your brother is a 7. I'm talking about the day. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring. Don't.
You already done said Bad Boys 3 times now.
Oh,
I didn't say fuck the movie 3 times. I could have said fuck the movie 3 times.
You know what I wasn't thinking. I'm
I could
sorry.
have said fuck that nigga just now, but
I was drinking this liquor to quench my
I
thirst.
could have said fuck that
Wrong
bitch just now, but I didn't say it.
You sure did. You
I didn't
sure
say
did. I wasn't even thinking about
So
that.
they both 7s. Go ahead.
Right? Prince was a 7. Eazy-E, Selena, Aaliyah, Left Eye. The royalty. These are artists who died though. Never mind the ones that are living. The ones who died either were born on a 7 or died on a 7. All the way from Bobby DeBarge died on the 16th. So a 7 day is the 7th, the 16th, or the 25th. The royalty, our royalty, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, born on the 25th. The King of Soul, James Brown, died on the 25th. Michael Jackson, the King of Pop, died on the 25th. Even the King of Rock and Roll,
Elvis.
Bobby Brown? No.
Wait, who's the King of Rock and Roll? Who you about to say the King of Rock and Roll is?
Elvis Presley died. I'm just saying we're talking pop culture.
Yeah, who tell you?
We're talking pop culture.
Okay.
So all of these artists, from Etta James, Billie Holiday, they died young. They're all 7s, and it freaked me out. So there were some of us. It's like here, we're sitting around, smoking, drinking, and we were sitting at a friend's house, and I pulled on the mind. I was like, oh damn, he's a 7, and he was a rapper. So I explained to them, Pac, Easy, they had just died. Selena, Left Eye, and everyone was like, well, what am I? What am I? And it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and there was somebody sitting over there, and everybody just looked at him. And Spanky Hayes was there. Spanky was like, if this motherfucker say 5, and not only was she her day of 5, she was May 5th. It was 5-5. And everybody, it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stopped right at 7.
Who was the person?
It was just a girl.
Okay,
it was just, but it was 6 of us in the room. I'm talking about the 7s, and it went in order. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No 2 2s or 3. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Spanky got up. He was like, "Fuck this voodoo shit. I'm out of here." So everybody just went on their way. And I'm driving back out to the valley, and I'm like, "Damn, this is a plot. This is a plot." So this book is, I'll describe it as a mystic final destination set in the music industry, steeped in numerology. So there's 6 of them. There's a big star that dies in the beginning, and she's a 7. She dies in the beginning. They don't know. Nobody knows yet. And 6 people come together to try and minimize their liability. They're not thinking about this girl. Now, we got the 7 sins part of this. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking about this girl. Her mother's a Felicia. So they offer her $2 million. They got a, $400 million policy on her. They're getting paid off of her. And then the 6 of them come together. They come together on the set where she dies. They come up with this plan. The attorneys are there, some music executives. So then the attorney gets the mother to sign off. She accepts a check for $2 million, and they wash their hands of it. Now all 6 of them come together to celebrate, and then we're off to the races. And the first one goes down. And then they realize later, the number 6 realize they're dying in their birth numbers, because somebody at that gathering is like, tells them, "Oh, wow, Sonia was a 7. They all do the same thing we did in the room. What's a 7? Woo. And she tells them all what their days are. And then they start dying in that.
Yikes.
But there's an angel. There's something called pretty privilege. And it's real. Trust me. That's just real.
I know. Trust me. I know.
You know. There's an angel, and her face keeps morphing. And whoever looks at her sees the most beautiful woman to them. And she has nothing. She's like Jesus. She has absolutely nothing. But she's able to control the biggest producers in the world and gets this kid, Eddie James. He's a big superstar. Within months, he's a huge star. Not that he hasn't been singing. He's not a fake. He's the real deal. Right. But we see them crisscrossing it. And in the end, she lets him know. I don't want to tell the end, but there's so many twists and turns. Like I gave this to a librarian, and she was like, "I have to put this book in my library, and it is on hold through June. Like, you can't check it out, because one person will read it. They'll put up a review like, 'Oh my God, that might be the best book I've ever read.'" Oh, wow. And so it's on hold. Like, they got a list of people.
Okay, so why not? Why is this not the movie?
Oh, absolutely. I've got book 2 coming. Okay. And this is going to be one of the
series.
Yeah, I've got book 2 coming, and this is going to be the one time where the book 2 really dives into book 1 and creates that world. Like, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so I'm creating a world. Like, I'm taking my time. I'm having really good fun with this. Like, I don't need this for this to do anything but what it's doing right now. It's selling slow, but I haven't done any book tours. I just put it up on my Instagram.
I was just about to say, so earlier you said that you don't want to go on tour with a bunch of drunk people at night. But just so you know, you could probably get people to come out during the day and make it a book /
I love it.
Vocal, you could do it. I know comedians right now that tour with their books. They're comics, but they have a book, and they talk about books they like reading, and that's a show for people. So you can create what you want from that. And I mean, with the ability for people to have that your name and face card, and also to have a book combination.
Oh,
you bring the books.
Face card. I'm 6 years old. He's talking about my
face card.
You bring yourself and those books. That's your merch, in a sense. You come out there, and
this is gold. This is
you go across the country with that.
And it took me 20 years. I was walking around with the story for 20 years. Nice. And then I found myself, I closed when Bradley graduated grad school. I always moved close to him, his schools. And then when he graduated, I closed the restaurant. It had been 7 long years. And after COVID, it was hard to get employees. And I was doing everything. That's why that one interview y'all saw me crying, I was exhausted. I was doing literally, it sounds crazy, but I was doing 15-hour days, hard days. And I was doing 300 orders a day. We talking soul food with multiple items. It was, but I did it, and I got to the other side, and I carried my water, and it has made me a better person. But I also knew the time had come to to call it. And I made a dent. I did something really great. Like it was great. So I closed that. My son is now doing his thing. It's like, you know, he's grown. I can't keep putting my fingerprints on him. It's like he's grown. Like he's so sweet. He's not gonna tell me, you know, mama. He does in his own little way. One time, like maybe a few months ago, I had asked him something was getting on. He said, "Mom, you know I'm 29, right?" And I was like, "Yes." So he drops. So I had to step back, and then I was in this still, silent place. It was so still. I bought a property in Texas. I wanted to get out of. As soon as he graduated, I was like, "Okay, I'm good. You good? You know the blacklist. You good? You good? USC. You in a fraternity. Right. You good? Top of your class. Everybody look you good." So we talked about it. I said, I want to leave California. I got stuck here with you. I wasn't going to take you from your dad, and I wasn't going to leave you. So, and he said Texas, and I started looking at properties, and I just found my property is just me. I love it. And I sent the specs back to my realtor here. She said, if it was here, we would start at about 2.3. Wow. It's a fraction of the cost. But the thing is, the front house is already on Airbnb and it stays booked. And I get the same amount of money as if it was in California for a fraction of the cost. Wow. That's why it's like saying for this guy to come back and do a movie, you know, I don't know how to connect the analogy, but I'm good. So the back house is being renovated. I have another structure that's going to be renovated. We're going to do this through the summer. And then I'm putting a tiny home on it. So I'm just building this little community. So it's going to take me about, 18, 19 months. And then I'm going to, but I got that house. And the first night I was there, I closed on it August 30th, and Bradley's birthday is on the 3rd of September. So I stayed through that, and I got to the house a few weeks later. And the first night there, it's out in the country. There's only 2,000 people in the town. And the first night there, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I swear to God, I had died. I thought I was dead because I hadn't heard that kind of silence. I mean, it's a silence.
Country silence.
Country silence. It's so deep that you... And then there was this voice, it's like, you moved to Texas, ding dong. And I was like, oh shit. Now I went outside and the stars, I could just grab them. So I was sitting in this beautiful, majestic, quiet space. Through the book, it's time. Now you ain't got nothing's gonna stop you. Yeah. And you got a clear lane, and I did it, and it turned out so good. And I just breathed it. You're in comedy. It's a muscle. That's why you're consistent. You consistently grow. Like I no knock on you, but I saw so much growth in you. Oh yeah. Like you're growing. Yeah, it's insane. Like I saw one cut of you, and I was like, this dude is really funny. Because at first I was like, oh, he got that job because it did that. But then I was like, oh shit, he really worked it. So the next book, because that's my muscle. It's like storytelling. That's my muscle. And these characters and these people and this structure. When I do it again,
So tell them where they can reserve the book, because I'm not.
No, it's on the market.
It's on the market. Okay, so let them know. Let them know where they can find it.
Wherever books are sold, go to angelameans.com. There's links there. Hit me up at Chef Angela Means on IG, and I do TikTok occasionally, the Angela Means. But go to angelameans.com and get your copy, and I promise it's gonna blow your mind. You be like, that girl's something else.
Make sure y'all get that, please.
Yeah,
please.
Everything I do, I do.
New Fridays, you in it?
I doubt it.
Okay.
We were talking about it. Cube, I think Cube he's very innovative, and he wants to go to new places and work with new people all the time. And now he's got a bigger budget. And he
I'll make sure I ask before we leave.
Thank you. I don't think so, but if I do, y'all know I got paid.
That's right. Grimy, let them know where you at.
All right, John Grimes, Mr. Tan Panda. That's all.
Okay, Joe Feezy.
We are in Cleveland this week. It's going to be a dope show Friday and Saturday. And that's it.
Trey, Elliot. I don't know. I got some. Yeah, I'm off this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Cleveland this weekend with Joe Fox at the Cleveland Improv.
Funny Bone.
Cleveland Funny Bone. They switched it. I don't think Cleveland switched. Cleveland
they
switched.
switched.
Too?
Funny
Okay.
Bone.
Cleveland
Funny
Funny Bone this weekend with Joe Fox. About to film something, but I can't tell you guys just yet.
Nice.
But just know your boy's working. Shout out to Toledo Funny Bone. We did it last weekend. Fire. Shout out to everybody from Detroit that drove out in droves.
Oh, wow.
Come see the show. We sold out 3 or 4 shows.
3.5. Like that
3 or 4.
Yeah, that other one was kind of sold out too.
It was, but they didn't give me the bonus money. So.
They didn't give me the
It was
bonus.
like 4.
They just missed it by 2 seats. They just want to give me that stupid check. They gave me a dumb check. They didn't give me the stupid check. You just missed it by 3
dumb
seats.
check over
Had I known,
check.
I would have bought 3 seats and sold it out. But shout out to Toledo, nonetheless. Cleveland this weekend. The Ohio run continues. It's the Born to Rock tour. It's the hardest tour going today. I stand on that. Charleston Rock, Dad, I love you very much. Peace. And stay tuned for the Interns Freestyle following this episode. Boom.
What I gotta say to get some likes? What a nigga gotta do just to get some views? What caption I gotta put here to get you to comment or share it too? Been writing bars since I was 10. Do these girls need bigger butts? How many hours I gotta put in? Has 10,000 not been enough? How many new flows do I gotta do for you to finally give me my kudos? Who knows? Feeling like I'm in a loop, but I'm front of the loophole. It's too cold. I think myself too old. I'm just playing a deck that I was dealt with. Now I'm down to my last card like, ooh no. Did this get more views than usual? Cause in the background of the vid is 2 hoes. Who knows? I'm just keeping it a buck, 1 and 2 O's.